So we've got two inexcused absences. One obviously being Hassan. Spoke to him over the weekend. Appreciate the dialogue. He's in a really good place mentally, working his tail off like we already know, and but he's choosing to sit out this one, inexcused. The second one is Aaron. Aaron and I spoke before OTA started. He's been very good in communication. He's been here the entire time. It's inexcused, but he had an event that was very important to him, which he communicated.
Both are inexcused.
Both inexcused. Yes.
Jeff, what more can you tell us about Rodgers' absence?
Well, unfortunately, I can't tell you what event it is that Aaron Rodgers is attending just yet, but I can tell you, at least from the perspective of the Jets, they are looking at this as an understanding. They believe that they are on the same page as Aaron Rodgers. As one source told me, he communicated it and understands. He showed up for the entire offseason program. Nobody is mad at him. I also then emphasized to the source, as long as Aaron Rodgers also is on the same page with the fact that this is being called an unexcused absence, I was told that everyone is on the same page. So we have not yet heard from Aaron Rodgers as it portends to the fact that this is an unexcused absence. But right now, the Jets are making very clear there's nothing to see here. Aaron Rodgers has participated throughout the offseason, and at this point, there is no reason for anyone to be suspicious or upset about what's happening.
Well, the bottom line is, JD, it is excused because it's Aaron Rodgers. He can do what the hell he wants. He's been doing it since he got there, okay? This is his organization and his franchise. And look, it's not necessarily the reps that I care about that Aaron Rodgers is missing. Aaron Rodgers is going to play well if he's healthy, and he's been there, like he said, in the offseason program. It was a lot of moves made with this team this offseason. Minicamp is usually, that first mandatory minicamp is usually when you have everyone together to build that rapport on the field. You get into a lot of things that you will do during the season. So that's my concern with his synergy that's going to have to coexist with the new offensive line. He's back off of obviously an Achilles tear, getting on the same page and in sync, just being in the huddle and hearing his voice. I know training camp is coming up. I'm not going to go crazy like I usually would on something Aaron Rodgers has done. I think he's bought a little credit with me with how available he's been since last year, and even during the injury, showing up during the season to be there for Zach Wilson and the team, and we saw how that manifested. I don't like that he's missing minicamp, but it's Aaron Rodgers who's been phenomenal in this league for a long time, and hopefully when they get back, they can get on the same page with a bunch of these new guys in training camp and get it going. I don't like it, but everything is excused because it's Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of good points, Marcus. The reality is that, and I think Robert Saleh was trying to say this, Aaron's been to a lot of voluntary stuff this year, which was more than he did oftentimes when he was in Green Bay. There's been a commitment from Aaron, to your point, going back to last season when guys, are injured and they're coming off of a surgery. Oftentimes they're not there even on game day. Aaron was very present, and it felt like he was completely bought into what was going on. And so I think that since he's done that, this feels a little bit more excused, as you said, because it's Aaron and because he's been doing stuff that he's really not required to do. I don't think this ends up being something that impacts how he plays, but I do think it is important from a leadership and standard of expectation perspective when you look at this football team, new players and all of that. That's really what you're missing.
Yeah, Jeff said there was nothing to see here. There's some sort of darkness retreat joke in there, but I haven't quite gotten it workshopped yet. Jeff, the other absence is Hassan Reddick. What do we need to know there?
Well, this is another interesting one for the Jets because Hassan Reddick is not at minicamp. Now, Robert Saleh did say that he's had communication with Reddick, something that before felt like there was no communication. But all along, ever since they made this trade, it felt like a valuable addition to the Jets' defense, but it was for a conditional third-round pick in 2026 for a reason. The conditions on that were the wonder about whether Reddick would have any kind of contract disputes. Part of the reason why he was even traded in the first place. The Jets taking on $14.5 million this coming season, the final year of Reddick's contract. It looks to me like Reddick wants a new deal, and it doesn't look like he's going to be showing up until he gets one. So for a new guy on the roster, one who was supposed to have an impact, a curious start for Reddick's tenure with the Jets.
Yeah, no doubt. It's concerning because it's compounded, obviously, by two veteran guys that's going to be leaders in this locker room and for this football team. But Hassan's situation, obviously, Jeff, when we get in the contract talk and him wanting a new deal, this could linger on throughout training camp. And that is the issue with Hassan. Outside pass rushers in the NFL. Obviously, we see it here, and he's done a tremendous job at impacting games. We know this Jets defense is already very, very good, but they brought Hassan Reddick in to put them over the top when it comes to being able to get after the quarterback and play coverage on the back end without having to put guys into blitzes and pressures. And then from Robert Saleh's standpoint, y'all, ain't it hell right now for Robert Saleh? The man been through it all, bro. Like, we can't even get the season started. The two vets are missing two integral pieces to what they want to do. I just hope all this work out by the time training camp come, or Robert Saleh has had one of the most unluckiest tenures to start off a head coaching position in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, he's handling it pretty well considering all that, Marcus, to your point. The Jets lost two of their top 3 sack leaders this offseason, Bryce Huff and Quentin Jefferson, so they